Good morning, dear students. I am Varalakshmi, Department of English, Assistant Professor, SRNVGNR Government Degree College, Khammam. I welcome you all to second year and to this first class in English. I hope you'll enjoy even this year. Now, language is a part and parcel of everyone. We keep talking daily, we keep listening to various talks, we keep listening to the music, radio, TV, etc. So, when we listen, it happens that we keep using a particular language. So, language is nothing but it is a part and parcel of everyone's life. So, when we talk about language, most of us what we feel is, we say that unless we know how to write or how to attain perfection in a language, in writing, only then we feel that we have perfected that language. But it's not correct. Language has 4 skills. That is L, which stands for listening, S, which stands for speaking, R, which stands for reading, and finally the last one which is W, which stands for writing. So unless we attain perfection in all these 4 skills, we cannot say that we have perfected a language. So writing is the last skill that you have to learn in order to know whether you have perfected a language. But the basic one that you have to do is listening. So, listening is very, very important, because unless you listen to a word or a letter perfectly, you will not be able to speak it. You will not be able to pronounce it. So, in today's class, we will learn why listening is important, what are the barriers of listening, how you will be able to perfect your listening skills. So, some quotes say, don't just speak, tell. Don't just tell, you act. Don't just act, live. That means in whichever role we play, we have to be in that role. We have to feel that we are in that role, and then we have to do that work. Okay? So, let us learn the first skill in a language, which is listening. So, you keep listening to music, you keep watching movies, in which once again you see as well as listen. You keep listening to various ads, that is advertisements. You also keep listening to various jokes, etc. So these are various ways in which you listen. Also, you listen to positive and negative comments of yours. You will also keep, as students, you keep listening to various classes which you haven't been doing since few days. And above all, you will also listen to various lectures in the class as well as in YouTube, etc. or elsewhere. Okay. So, the same potential by God while sending us onto this earth. We all of us are blessed with 2 eyes, then 2 ears, etc. But we don't have the same capacity to listen, to write, to remember, etc. Okay? So, while listening, why we are faced with these difficulties? That we are going to learn first. That is, what we say is, it is barriers to listening. So, why we are not able to listen like any others, or why we are not able to cope up with others. Some are able to listen perfectly and then reproduce the same in their examination, or reproduce the same thing when the question is asked the next day, or are able to clarify the doubts of their friends very easily. But the others are not able to do that. Why they are not able to do that? Why everybody is not able to attain the same perfection? Okay? It is because there are certain barriers, that is, there are some obstacles which they face in listening. So, barriers or obstacles are nothing but the problems that they face while listening. So, first is attitudinal barriers. So, what is attitude? Is the way one behaves while listening. Okay? So, while listening, what we do is, some of them, we keep scratching. Some of us, what we do is, we keep doing this way. Some of us, we just start joking or commenting others, etc. Why do we do this? It is because probably you are not interested in sitting in the class. Probably you do not like this subject. Probably you do not like the lecturer, etc. But it is a part and parcel of your life. You have to pass, isn't it? So, you have to cultivate the habit of peacefully listening to it. When you do not have the other option of just skipping that particular subject, then it is better you keep yourself calm and sit over there. Okay? So that is attitude. That is, the attitude is nothing but the way you behave while listening to a class. Second is your physical barriers. Physical, that means something connected to your body. Maybe you have a pain in the stomach, you have a headache, or maybe that you are not able to sit over there because of bad weather or no air, etc. You're not able to sit over there. So, when you're not able to make yourself comfortable, then certainly not only you, even I too, we will not be in a position to get used to the class. So that is the physical barriers. Not only this, physical also has certain other things. Suppose you got angry on somebody, maybe your friend or maybe your parents, or maybe with somebody in the office or even the other lecturers also. Then when you get angry, certainly you are not able to control your emotions. So when you are not able to control your emotions, you will not be able to concentrate the next class. maybe you're too excited. Excitement comes when you're very, very happy. So, when you're excited, you want to share something with your friends, and colleagues, lecturers, etc. Isn't it? So, when you're not able to do that, when you're not able to share, certainly you will be forced to sit in a particular place. So, when you're forced to do some act, you will not be in a position to do it. So, certain. Other way, when you're sad. When you're sad, certainly you will not be able to do any work peacefully. So, when you're not able to do anything peacefully, certainly you will not be in a position either to eat or even to enjoy a joke, crack a joke, or even to listen to a beautiful music. You won't be able to enjoy even when others try to make you laugh. So this way, physical includes both some problems with your body as well as some emotions that automatically come out because of your anger or your excitement or even your sadness. So all these things come under physical barriers. Then the next one is physiological barriers. So what are physiological barriers? So some of you may not know that you are not in a position to listen well. And you may not be in a position to tell the same thing either to your parents or to your friends or to your lecturers, because they may comment. Your parents may not say anything, but your friends, if you say the same thing to your friends, they may comment on you. Again, you feel bad. So, it is better to keep quiet. They may say, you're too small. How is it that you're not able to hear? So, due to these comments, you want to pacify all those things, all those problems that you have, and then just adjust to the situation. So, these are all physiological barriers. Then, next you have is cultural barriers. Cultural barriers. What are cultural barriers? We are born and brought up in a culture wherein we are submissive and we are habituated to respecting elders, then doing something what they want, adjusting ourselves to a homely culture. And in this type of atmosphere where we are living, we feel that English is a language which doesn't belong to India. Then why should we learn it? So, in this situation, what we do is, we generally keep postponing. We keep postponing learning of this language. Rather, we have a negative impact on ourselves when we talk about such things. So, you do not want to learn it because you feel it is a foreign language. But we should not forget that ours has become, the entire world has become a global village. And learning a language, rather a foreign language, is also very, very essential in today's world, especially because when you learn a foreign language alone, you can easily mingle with anybody, whether you go to any part of India or whether you go even abroad. Most of us, what we are doing today is we are not able to get, we are not satisfied rather with the employment opportunities which are in India. So what we are doing is we are trying to fly off, go to some foreign country and then try to work over there, maybe for better opportunity, etc. or rather better payment, etc. So when you want to do so, certainly you have got to give up your cultural barriers, thinking that this is only a foreign language and that you have got to learn it. So these are a few barriers. There are many more, but then these are a few barriers. Not when you're talking about cultural barriers, we also have got to remember one thing, that when others, you may not like it, but when you look at your friends learning it or when you look at others learning it, do not discourage, because they may have a positive attitude towards it. You may not have positive attitude, but then let others continue what they are doing. So these are a few barriers or obstacles or problems that we face while listening a particular language. Okay. Now, when we have seen that these are the problems, then we also have got to learn as to how we can overcome these things. So, we have learned the obstacles, now we have to learn how to overcome these obstacles. First thing is, you have to be attentive. You have to be attentive in the sense, when you are in a class, what you have to do is, you have to forget whatever things you have in your mind. Maybe the things that you are thinking about, any things that you have at home, maybe in other class, maybe with your friends, all such problems you have got to give it up. You have to feel free, get used to the new class, and then you have to adjust to the new situation so that you may feel that, yes, at least over here or in this class alone, I will be able to adjust myself. So when you adjust your mind accordingly, certainly attention will come up automatically. So this is what is meant by attention. That means you have to come up, or you have to pull up your energy in such a way that you have to get adjusted to the new environment in the new class. Then the next one is, you have to be calm. Calmness or quietness. So, all of us have got inbuilt energies. So, whatever topic is being dealt by maybe your lecturer in the form of a new lecture, or maybe in the form of a seminar by your co-student, you better be quiet. You listen to it well, because all of us want others to listen to what we are saying. You should put yourself in the place of the person who is speaking. So when you put yourself in that place, then you will understand that you want others' attention towards what you are dealing. So, what you have to do is, you have to keep silence, you have to maintain silence, and then you have to listen to the person who is speaking with patience, with calmness, with quietness. So when you are quiet, automatically the content will get into the brain. And also you will be able to make others happy by being quiet, by making the listener, by making the person presenting the content come to the point and adjust to the environment. Then, third thing is regarding body language. So while speaking, you have to be very, very careful with body language. Also, while listening, also you have to be very careful with body language. So we are all learning, we are all learners. That means we are grown up at the same time. We are also getting educated. So as educated, you have to refine yourself in the form of your physical language, or rather body language. So some of you, what you do is you keep your hands, you place your hands on somebody else while listening. Then you fold your legs, keep one on the other, and then you do it. Then some of you just place one of your hands on the desk and then don't allow others to be comfortable and such other things. And some of you, while somebody is presenting a lesson or something, what you do? Do these things. You didn't say. Why all these things? Listen patiently. Have some patience. Then, if you want others just to move, then you can just say this way. You have to keep your body straight. Then, don't move your arms up and down. Then, don't flicker your eyes many times. Then, do not keep on flickering your eyes many times. At the same time, do not show some gestures this way, harming others or doing something bad to others, etc. Maintain a dignified body language so that the person in front of you also may feel comfortable in delivering his point. So while listening, you have to be very, very cautious about your body language. Then, what about your distractions? There are many things that are distracting you from the plus. So while listening, what you have to do is, you have to keep them aside. For example, there may be some people talking at the in the veranda or elsewhere. If you are not attentive, obviously your eye falls over there and you keep listening to those things. Maybe they may be speaking politely, but still they may be speaking softly, but still when you are concentrating on that, your concentration here will be distracted. Also, when somebody is playing the music, when somebody is listening to some YouTube video or so, then you may get carried away with that. If there is a playground beside the class, obviously, if somebody is playing over there, you are carried away. You also want to play at that time. But you should not forget that you have to control yourself in such a way that all these distractions are just nothing. You have to have a balanced personality over here. Okay? Then, next. Regarding your subject, suppose you have any doubts. While listening to a topic, you may get innumerable doubts, but there is a certain time when you have to get these doubts clarified. And what is the time? The time is that when the entire session is over, at that time you will be given a chance to get your doubts clarified. So when a lecture is going on, you should not interrupt. You should not interrupt a class at any cost, because the person who is delivering the topic to you, that person, he may lose his grip on the topic. At the same time, maybe some people who are listening very, very carefully, they may also lose their concentration. They may feel that you are disturbing the class. So in that case, obviously, the entire class will be distracted. So you should not disturb the class unless and until the total content is over. You have to keep yourself calm. You keep noting down whatever doubts you have, and towards the end of the class, you can catch the person who is delivering. Then at the same time, you may be more worthier than the person who is speaking. You may know much more than the person who is speaking. Even in that case also, you should have patience to listen first. After listening, then when the session of clarification of your doubts arises, at that time you can tell something more than what the listener has spoken. In that case, even the listener also will be in a position to listen, and he will also get benefited with your knowledge. So this is the way you have to listen. So listening plays a very, very important and vital role in the learning of a language. So unless you perfect yourself in the art of listening, you cannot go to the second skill called speaking. So what we generally feel is, or rather what everybody feels is, if you perfect yourself in writing, it is enough. So we have to perfect ourselves in writing. Only then we can learn the target language. Certainly not. Only when you listen, you will be able to speak something. When you are able to listen, you can speak. When you speak well, then certainly you will be able to read well. And when you master these first three skills of listening, speaking and reading alone, you have to go to writing. Automatically you will get the art of writing. So art of writing is a last skill that you have to acquire while learning a language. So dear students, these are certain things that you have to keep in your mind while listening. So do not get distracted. keep calm, be attentive, take care of your body language. Then ask your doubts towards the end. You should not interrupt others. Okay? When you follow all these things, obviously you will be able to perfect yourself in the listening skill, and you will also be one among those top candidates who will top the class, who will also be a torch bearers for others. So I hope you have learnt the art of listening well, and then I feel you will be able to cultivate these things and then perfect yourself, become a better person, and then not only in listening but also you will acquire many more things. You will cope up with others easily and then become perfected in your studies. Thank you one and all, and have a great learning.
10 minutes and 30 minutes and చాలా ఓకే సార్ ఓకే